How did you lose your virginity? I was 14. Legal age in my country, because my partner was 14 too. Happened to be left alone for a few hours and we were horny teens, so we did it on his couch. I don't regret it, but it was pretty underwhelming. Never did it with a guy again. 26 extremely intense seconds. Missionary. I finished sweating over her, panting. Asked her, "Did you come too?" Like a fucking idiot. Doggy style with chitty chitty bang bang on in the background. It was as awkward as it sounds. Lost it with my second girlfriend. I was her first boyfriend, so she made me wait almost 2 years. She was going to move away to the United States cause of the aftermath of a hurricane, so we decided to do it in case the long distance was too much. Both of us were virgins. Lunch break at high school. His house was like a 2-minute walk from the gates. We snuck out. He stopped halfway through to look out the window and make sure his mother hadn't come home from work because he thought he heard a car pull into the driveway. Single bed, in a room he shared with 2 brothers. Strangely somehow still wasn't terrible. Young love. In a public bathroom with my girl best friend. It was nice. Really classy. On a Tinder date. I told the girl that I was not a virgin. In hindsight, she most definitely should have realized I was lying. I was 19. Some girl invited me to her party and I didn't even talk to her the whole night. When everyone started leaving, she looked at me and said, "Not you. What's the most effed up thing you did in a sleepover?" Visiting a friend's house for the first time and I couldn't find the bathroom. I was about 10, during a sleepover. In the middle of the night, dark, confused, I pissed in the closet. More embarrassing than effed up. Accidentally clogged the toilet at friend X's house. There was no plunger and the toilet was filling rapidly. I panicked and ran to my friend who promptly called for his dad. His dad takes one look and yells from the bathroom, "Jesus X, how big of a shit did you take?" It took years before I went back to his house. I had sleepover at a friend's house. Preteen boys, so we were stuffed in one little bed. I got a nosebleed, but slept through it for about an hour. I noticed eventually and got up to tend to it. My friend woke up while I was in the bathroom to what looked like a scene from a horror movie. I did not get a second sleepover. I pissed on the air mattress and my friend's mom asked if a raccoon broke in. Made so many prank calls that we ended up calling the same house 3 separate times about 6 hours apart. Just typing in random numbers. Lady was fucking pissed. Called the cops. We got in shit. In high school I passed out super drunk on my back at a friend's house and started throwing up in my sleep. Luckily my friend heard what was happening and woke me up and rolled me over before I had a chance to asphyxiate. I jumped out the window to a mattress below for some money. I slept there with the blanket because they did not let me back in. It was winter and I thought I'd freeze to death. What were the dumbest lies you believed when you were a kid? When I was a child, I got upset after a button came off of my shirt. My mother told me not to worry and that if I placed the button under a rock in the yard, the button fairy would replace it with a quarter. I believed it, and to my mother's dismay, she discovered I had pulled the buttons off of every shirt in my closet. To this day, 40 years later, shirt buttons can still be found under random rocks in my parents' backyard. My parents convinced us that the person knocking on our door on weekend nights when we were asleep was our Uncle Shiloh stopping to say hello. We don't have an Uncle Shiloh. It was the pizza guy. I was told by my dad, when I was around 8 to 9, that the people at the sewage plant have been examining your poop, and need you to eat more fiber. Edit, wrong age. Eating too much sugar will glue my ass cheeks together. Thanks Mom. My grandmother told me that pinching gave cancer. I got pinched once at recess and yelled at the person because I thought they were going to give me cancer. One time when I was 5 to 6 I asked my brother how French fries were made and he told me, they inject mashed potatoes into the skins of the fries with a syringe. I believed that until I saw my mom cooking home fries for breakfast one morning when I was 8. When I was a kid my dad always told me not to touch it because it was an emergency button. One time when I was like 5 we were flying to visit family and he fell asleep so I pressed it a bunch because I was curious. Nothing happened and I fell asleep thinking it must be broken. I woke up in a stroller with my parents upset because the plane had to make an emergency landing and I started crying because I thought it was my fault. What is something Americans will never understand? That in some places we can't just return things we have bought because we don't like them. How to eat Vegemite. As an American I'll never understand how you all have so much time and money to travel abroad. Employers here work the hell out of you. Long hours, low pay, and negligible PTO hours. I hear in the UK even the lowest paid jobs have at least 25 days a year guaranteed under the law. The wages we get don't cover the cost of living in most states, So the idea of having money to spend on trips, aside from the trip cost itself, kind of baffles me. That you work to live and not live to work. Sometimes you need a vacation. Not just when you're super rich. I was in Milan when Italy won the World Cup in 2006. The whole city was in the road celebrating. I have never experienced anything like that ever in my life. A penalty shootout, 30,000 people in dead silence going absolutely apeshit in a second in front of the city cathedral. They were projecting the match. Even in homes, if your stream was lagging behind you could understand if a goal happened because of scream all over the neighborhood. Celsius. Having only two political parties is terrible.